Hello, everyone, and welcome to our Tally the Votes season wrap up show. We got a new winner, and I have to say, starting out at the very beginning of this,
Slow clap, slow clap. There you go.
I'm going to say right now, everything as it is, it's just how everything stands. This was probably the best themed season that they have ever done. It all came together. It went all the way. They had songs, they had a dance, they had reoccurring characters. There
They
was
had
there was
merchandise.
tragedy. There was tragedy. There was triumph. Well done. Well, and they pulled Derek in, and he had to go undercover to
Yeah,
try to
good acting
defeat
chops there,
Ainsley.
Derek. Way to
I
go.
mean, they really committed to it, and even though they weren't doing a lot of weird gimmick, the theme was there and everything. And I
And
thought
they
that was a
kept it till
lot of
the
fun.
end, which,
Yeah.
they've never kept it beyond like week 3 before. So,
Yep.
I mean, I just say they kept and they made it fun. It didn't get stupid.
And they
It's
did
been
give
fun.
us some
Yeah.
some new versions of Veto games and like that was pretty fun.
yeah, I felt
Yeah.
like they kept a lot of the competitions fresh.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
had great set design. I will say that OTEV was a treat seeing as it was over in 3 minutes.
Wow.
Well, can
Never
you imagine
ever.
the production, how pissed they had to be? Because that
Like
Totally.
that
2 days.
takes forever to put together.
Totally.
Yeah,
And
2 days.
it's always a favorite. Everyone waits
Yep,
for it. Everyone loves it.
that they
So,
do.
but just all in all, just really good production and
And they
writing and
never did
whatever
the
they
slip
did.
and slide.
Great. Oh, they didn't. They didn't have to.
Nope, they didn't do the slip and slide, and they didn't do the hold the button in the room,
No,
whatever that
I'm not
thing is.
really that surprised that they didn't do the pressure cooker though, because that
No, the
was
pressure cooker hadn't been done, and then they did
yeah
it
they
last season.
yeah it was a
But the
treat.
slip and slide, I can't think of a season they haven't done that.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty standard.
Yeah.
So
But
yep,
yeah, good. So overall for production and CBS and all of that, well done, guys. Well done on a
they got to
very
use their
cohesive season.
animation, like their little special effect
Mhm.
chroma key animation. They used it pretty effectively this
And
year.
and the idea that AI was kind of in the news, right? It's been in the news this year, so it was
Yeah,
timely. They were
hot
able to
topic.
use that AI thing to then throw like sabotage into the game and like well, so anyway, just as a theme, really well done.
Well, and
Yeah,
it mocked the real concerns with the AI, right? Like, what happens if it gets beyond our ability to control it, right?
yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Granted, there's only like
Stealing
9
identities.
Terminator movies we can read about, but
If it gets beyond our control, we just have to send Mackenzie over there because she loves killing those AI brains.
She's gonna do what she needs to do.
She was very happy
She
to
is
do that.
a she is a champion of competition.
she probably could have used a little AI advice.
Yes,
Maybe. Yeah.
she could
She
have.
is probably a comp beast for the ages, and
Oh
she
Mhm.
is
yeah,
strategically one of the worst players to ever play the game.
it's
It just
true.
goes to show you have to be the total package to win the game, right? It's not
Oh,
just comp beats.
I've never been a fan of. I'm going to take the best competitor with me and beat the best. No, you
Not in
put
these
that
games.
person down
Yeah,
like a dog.
yeah,
You
not in these
already
games.
beat them. If you're sending them home, you've
Right,
already beaten them. You
right,
Yeah,
don't have
you've
to
exactly.
done it.
drag them along so you can beat them at
Why
the
are
very
you
end.
trying to
For what
prove it
reason?
twice? Yeah, it's
Yeah,
silly. It's silly.
exactly.
But it was very
Exactly.
fitting that we got to have Derek be in the finale, given the ending that we did have. Was very
Mm,
reminiscent of the Cody and Derek scenario. Um, I kind of liked Cam's
very.
face. Like Cam was kind of like, "All right, like your game to lose," but
Now,
you.
I can't believe Julie didn't ask the question. Why
Why?
wouldn't she have asked? Because Jeff, God love Jeff, and I, criticize him every time. He would have asked, "Would you have voted?
Sure.
Who would you have voted for if it was MJ and Cam?"
Yeah.
Because I think
Oh,
MJ would have won with a
yes.
unanimous vote.
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. And usually Julie does ask that. But okay, we did get I had sent a message about it too. It was really different. So when Chelsea was doing her final speech, like
Mm,
her final plea for the win, it pans over to Julie. Julie makes eye contact with the camera. It's not like it caught her in a moment.
like,
And she was like, "Mm-hmm.
Well,
She did like
so was MJ during part of Chelsea's speech. She's nodding yes.
she was.
There you go. Motivational speakers. You got to
They were
motivate them
doing
to
like a
nod yes
little
to you.
They had like some office cameramen in there going.
It was kind of weird to see the host be like, "Yeah, I told you she was going to win," as she's doing her final speech.
Well, no,
It's-
it reminded me of Tim Waltz when JD Vance was speaking and he was nodding yes. I don't care if you agree or disagree with him. Do not agree by nodding at him.
Yeah, it's a psychological.
It's just a bad
Yeah.
look if you're trying
yes,
to win.
I'm following you. I'm understanding what you're saying. I'm
Right.
understanding.
No, it's very human, but it's not what you want to do in that situation.
Right. But psychologically, it's like when you think about smiling, you smile. It's when you think about yes, I'm listening, then you
Mhm.
start to agree even if you don't agree.
Well, I'm
So-
thinking about smiling right now.
Look at those pearly whites. Amazing. It's amazing.
Fantastic. So yes, we had kind of not a very exciting week. We kind of saw same old people win all the time. Oh,
JP's
okay,
in the house.
JP.
JP's in the house and says, Tucker's, but wait, there's more, was a better finale than Sopranos and Battlestar Galactica.
So say we all.
They didn't cut corners with that one. He got his full check. Yeah, so I thought they did a little bit more on the reunion side, it seemed like, because they really
But-
rushed the very end.
But
Yeah,
they
I
were
feel like-
smart because they didn't reveal the winner.
Oh,
Right.
yes.
Because like when Survivor reveals the winner and has a reunion show, I turn it off because I couldn't care less.
Right. Well, I do. I kind of want to
I
see
like it, yeah.
what the players that have been sent home and haven't been in jury and have been watching the whole show. I really always want to see
I
how their
love that,
attitude
yeah.
changes.
Well, on Survivor, they don't pay
when they
to
go.
fly them in, right?
No,
Do
they don't, and I
They
hate
don't-
that now.
I know. I do
used-
not like the instant reunion.
I don't like it.
I
don't
hate
like it.
I don't like it either.
They need a little bit more time to like let
I
it sink
really
in.
always
you know?
loved the like, how's Jeff gonna escape the island? And like, it's so corny,
Yes!
And
It's
then,
like windsurf.
Oh, and then he runs down the path, and then he comes running on the stage like he just
yes.
left a second
love
ago.
It's so
And then,
corny,
like,
but it's so funny.
everybody is so dressed up and healthy looking. It's really fun
He's there
to
with his
see the difference.
Blue
of,
camp shirt on.
Well,
Yeah,
I thought
like-
that was true too. I thought Lee was really put together.
Oh, sure.
More than she ever was in the house. I guess she was just wearing sweatpants always in the house, right? So
Yeah, they all get relaxed. They're just, I mean, like, when you're in the house long enough, you're just doing what you do in your own
I
way.
What do you
honestly
think
think
they're-
Cam was wearing his normal wardrobe.
Probably.
They're coming
I don't
onto
think
the show.
I think that's how Cam dresses all the time.
Yeah, I think so.
when they came on the show though, just tonight, the ones that were from Jury House and any of those people, besides the finalists, do you think that they get to go to hair and makeup before they go on set?
Oh yeah.
I think so, yeah.
Because
Absolutely.
that's
look-
kind of fun.
They look super, dazzling.
But you know what I mean? That's
do,
kind of fun. You don't have to like do all the work. You just
Yeah.
show up and like, do it for me.
Well, let's
You know what I mean?
let's
Yeah.
can we talk for a second about Angela's reaction to Tucker? Because if I was British, I would call her a word that starts with C
Do you
that I
mean
can't
his-
say on this
Do
air.
you mean her reaction?
Why do you
to
hate her
Matt?
so much?
Because he was like wanting to make up with her
You
and
mean-
said, "I'll give her a hug," and she's like, "I don't care about your hug."
Right. And the
Yeah,
correction is,
yeah. She
the correction is you mean her reaction to Matt.
Matt.
Oh, I'm
I
sorry,
thought
Matt.
that, yeah.
That's
was
correct. I'm
Matt.
sorry.
I agree. He was being sweet and
Yes.
just like, hey.
He was
and-
trying to
Okay.
bury the hatchet and just say
Okay.
it was a game.
But I will say she reacted the way she reacted. Mackenzie also reacted a certain way where it was like, it's been 80 days. We spent 10 days together. And then if you looked at the pan shots from back behind where they were showing the whole stage, he was always far away. No one was interacting with him. No one was hugging him.
Because they
No
didn't
one
know
was shaking
him.
his hand.
Barely.
Like he was far away. He was all the way on the side from over with Kenny. He
Well,
wasn't over there getting anything from
he was-
Mackenzie, not giving
he
her.
was with
yeah.
everybody the least amount of time, but also
Sure.
he had an AC Slater haircut, and that made people uncomfortable. I guarantee it. I'm just saying.
I just wonder if there was something more to him making people feel uncomfortable, just in general, because
Yeah.
people seem to be kind of shunning him a little bit. And he seemed to be like he's down for dating Mackenzie. Mackenzie's like, um,
Well, I think too they get active on Twitter and I think they piss each other off.
They have not
mm,
been bad though. They honestly, this cast has not argued with each other publicly, at least.
Well, but that doesn't mean that there isn't something going on in the DMs, right?
Yeah, no, it doesn't. I just honestly, I think Matt
that's a
was
good
the
one right
first.
there.
Matt was the first one out,
Yeah.
and it just
JP writes,
times.
I think when MJ shot him down, Tucker should have said, but wait, there's not more.
That's a good
There's
one.
not more.
Yeah, I don't think she's
Well,
interested. She has money now. She doesn't need him.
well, and he's not tall enough for her. She needs a guy that's like
Also-
6'3".
Also, I want to go all the way back to the first episode or two, the first week or so of feeds. MJ and Matt were never a thing, and they were never going to be a thing. And production was pushing so hard for it. And
Yeah.
he was like, nah.
She's like, I'm good.
He's really cute. He's nice.
You know,
He's
maybe
great.
for
Great
yeah,
guy.
like maybe it's like, you know, sometimes when when you're 22, because Mackenzie's 22, you walk into a room and you go like, oh, okay, that guy's kind of hot, and then like you spend a little bit of time kind of like moseying around, seeing them interact with other people, and then you get to finally talk to him, then you're like, okay, maybe not.
maybe not quite.
I think he might have that reaction. I might think she might have had that
So,
reaction.
do we think that Julie gets like paid royalty every time a couple from the Big Brother house starts?
she's very proud of their percentage of success versus the Bachelor.
She really pushes it. Like she really
Suck
wants
it, ABC.
is she like Jeff and she just loves love?
Well, she does tell everyone to love one another. So
She certainly does.
so
And,
I'm wondering maybe that
Yeah, that's become a thing this year. Did you notice? Now she's got everyone saying
oh
it.
yeah, now they're all saying it. Yeah.
Because
I'm
like
sorry, but
2 years
every-
ago, it was just like a cringe line, right? Now it's
So
like
here we are.
yeah,
What
it's
was this
sticking.
is season? What season was this that we just finished? 24.
26.
26, sorry, excuse me. 26. And we got some stuff here this season in 26 that will now I think become standards in that's pretty amazing, guys, for a show that's been on this long.
Well, there's been a few things tonight.
Jeff,
One,
that's how you do it. Don't get stuck in a rut.
don't get stuck in a
Um,
route. One, Chelsea is the first female winner that won unanimously.
is that
Dude,
true?
that
Yeah.
I don't know if it was true, but that was
Yeah.
kind of embarrassing. That's kind of
So
sad.
that is the first time. So she broke a record there. Another change that we had was Dr. Will is no longer in the house. And now we have Taylor at the round table. And
Hey,
I think
you know
they
what?
couldn't have picked a better person for it.
Now,
It's fantastic. Her face actually moves. So
I,
you
I,
can
ha-
see
I,
what
ha- I,
she's
ha- I
doing.
have to tell you, as you know, watching Taylor, is she the single most attractive person who's ever
She's
appeared
just
on the
so-
show?
She's
I
flawless.
mean, she is put together. I mean,
Flawless.
she looks like she should be a movie star.
Yeah.
She's like
beautiful.
so classy, and she looks more
Yeah, that's what
beautiful
I'm saying.
tonight, even than she just keeps looking more and more great. But I loved how Quinn was like, I'm afraid to look you right in the eye.
I loved that. Oh my
But-
god, I love it. And
If
and,
only he
oh
shaved
my
his little
God,
mustache.
if we
or
could
whatever
just
that is.
if we could just have like a 10-minute like hidden camera of Angela trying to kiss Taylor's ass while Taylor just keeps shooting her down, I would be in heaven. So good.
Yeah.
It was so she called her ass out like, well, it's not the Angela show anymore. So dead. Just
No,
dead.
I think Taylor's got that whatever that magnetic it thing is.
Yep.
That some people just the camera loves them and
Yep.
they have
It's
a presence and
I think she generally has a good
And-
personality too, right?
Yeah.
like
She has
but you look like Tucker. He's obviously trying very hard.
Well, he's-
Angela
yeah,
is
he's
trying very hard.
Yes.
With
Yeah.
Taylor, it's just effortless. She just it's who she is, and
Right.
probably Rachel. Not the same way, but she had a compelling personality. She didn't have to go over the top to play to the camera.
The thing is that somebody like Tucker he's like a show off. Everything's just
Right.
goofing. He's just doesn't take a whole lot very seriously. And then when he does, that's almost off-putting. And then on the flip side, you have Angela that takes literally everything to heart and at like 100% serious level. but is also a show off.
Oh, she's going to be on Traders for sure.
Oh, geez. Yes.
Just give her the
She-
contract. Just give it to her
Oh
now.
my gosh. I don't.
Although I
deserve
wish
to
she'd
like
be on the
this.
summit because I'd like to see her fall off a cliff.
No, come on.
No, I mean,
No,
with
she-
a tether on,
In a
I
safe
don't know.
way.
in a safe
She did
way.
better. She did better in the physical competitions this year than I thought she would.
She did actually do
honestly.
pretty. She did pretty well. I was kind of okay. There was part of me, the very snarky, mean girl part of me, that was really getting a giggle out of the fact that they showed the whole thing with Brooklyn taking all of her snacks. But
that was good.
I also kind of think I was like, oh my God, is this going to be like what sets the rampage off? Like,
Right, because they
this
were
gonna be
poking
like-
her.
is this going to be like a Carrie moment? Like, this is kind of
Yeah.
mean, guys. Like, this is
They
sort of.
were poking her. Mm-hmm.
I mean, because I just saw it's like, I'm imagining for a minute being Angela in that situation and then seeing that video, which was hilarious. But if it's you and you see it and you can see that they're filming you almost in a mocking way, and you
Well,
look
there's
around,
a solution to
everyone's
that.
laughing.
There's
Don't
a
do
solution
it.
to that.
Yeah,
Don't
yeah.
behave like a moron on national TV, and then they can't put a compilation of it.
Don't throw yourself
100%.
on the floor like a toddler
No.
and have a tantrum.
No,
over
bad
meats and
idea.
cheeses that were going to be bad by the time you got off slop.
But I'm sitting here thinking oh my gosh, this for somebody like her, this is either going to be funny and she can brush it off, or this will be devastating.
Right.
And I was
Well,
holding my breath, waiting to see which one it was going to
This-
be.
the thing was that they had done this after the thing with what's his name? Crazy
Matt?
Eyes.
Yep.
Yeah, they had done this after that. So they'd already kind of teed that up, right? That,
Yep,
there was going to be some Angela Matt interaction, which could be awkward. Then they did this. If they had come in afterwards and talked and talked about what Zingbot said about her, oh, I think she totally would have been over the edge because
Yep.
she couldn't handle that.
Yeah. And she came into the top 3 for America's favorite players.
She did.
I knew she would. I just
Well, I mean, Tucker
can't
was
be
going
that-
to win that.
you can't have that much TV presence for good or bad.
And Quinn was in the top 3, so I'm saying he's not
Yeah.
that dislikable.
Yeah.
Okay,
And
so I want
my
to
daughter
ask
was-
you
my
who
daughter
won it
was
last
so-
year.
My daughter was so happy getting to see Quinn again. She's like, he's so funny.
My daughter has the same white combat boots that he has. that he
Who
wears all the
remembers
time.
who won America's favorite player last year?
I can't even remember who America's favorite. Okay, so Jag won last year.
He won, right?
Who
Was
was
he
it?
also
I
America's
don't know.
favorite
See, this
player?
is how little we really care.
No, sometimes I do. Like Tiffany won. I remember that. Sometimes I do, but I don't think I cared last year that much.
Well, that could have been 3 or 4 people that year.
Yeah, I don't know.
That was a
Sometimes
great-
there's like a
100
standout
days,
person.
guys. It was 100 days last year. Let's just. can we
Oh
please
gosh,
recount
I
that?
forgot.
It was 100 days.
That
we
was
were
a year
we were
ago.
doing this all the way
Whoa.
through Halloween, right up to the butt of Thanksgiving with these folks.
Because of the
So,
23 writers strike,
Yep.
right?
Yeah, it was and it was 25 years or 25th anniversary.
Oh, yeah.
yeah.
Wow.
Yeah,
Wow,
yeah,
wow,
yeah, yeah,
wow.
yeah.
I
Oh, it
forgot.
was Cam. It was Cam last year. That's who got it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Mm. I think that name might be jinxed
We all
now.
just need to take a moment to have a sip of our beverage as we all had a moment to dry heave in remembrance and realized why we erased it from our memory.
Oh, Cam, the idiot that named his hair.
Yes. Uh-huh.
Yes.
That's why
the
we were
Cam
just
that-
dry
yeah.
heaving. David was not a part of the dry heaving. He missed out. There we go. There we go. Take a sip.
Poor Cam
Welcome
this year,
back.
the name was already tainted and he did not redeem that name.
I think he did because at the very least he's a doll of a person.
We got to see, speaking of doll of a person,
Hey,
we
Matt
got to
did
see
get
Cedric
Matt
tonight.
at least got 2 votes to
So
win.
cutie.
Did anyone remember that?
Did he? Was it
Yeah.
Bowie Jane? It was probably Bowie Jane.
And Jag had 5 and Matt had 2.
Hey, guys, here's
Tell
something.
me.
Here is something I was thinking of watching tonight. Every season, you get the third person. You have the 3 people. The third person gets sent out to jury. They have, a little moment to talk to Julie. When they reveal the votes, they never start with the last person who left the game. And I kind of think she should. I feel
Well,
like
in
I
this
would
case, it
really
was
be curious.
self-evident who he was going to vote
Sure,
for.
and often it is, but they're always
Yeah.
the last person. And if you get 4 in a row at the beginning, you don't ever get to be the reveal the vote, you know?
Yeah.
So
You know
Well, why
what?
don't
That
they?
would
Why
be
don't they go
fair.
backwards, like
That's
from
what
the
she's
last,
saying.
most recent
That's
to the one
yeah, that's
before?
what
I
she's
think.
saying.
I think that
yeah, I
That
would like
that
the other
gives
direction.
that's an inspired
gives-
thought, Jane. I like it.
it gives the people that were in the game longer like
The
more
voice,
cred
yeah, I like
when
it.
they're voting. Yeah.
Yes.
So that they deserve that. Yeah.
So if
That
there's
would be great.
4, if there's 4 for the win or whatever on that end, they're the ones who
So it
get
should
the
have been
moment.
Cam, Rabina,
Yep. Chemo?
Chemo, Angela, Leah,
Well,
and gone
I
that way.
actually thought MJ had a shot at getting Chemo and Rubina's votes until Tigor opened her mouth, and then I realized she was going to tell the other two how to vote. And it was clear to me who she was voting for. So.
Listen, Mackenzie, she is a fine player. She seems to be a fine human being.
Yep.
Nothing against her at all. But Chelsea ate that up when they did the questions, when they were doing
but she didn't even need the questions. If no questions
She
were asked,
didn't.
Chelsea won.
But still, the way
Unanimously.
Chelsea wrapped it up with a bow, like she had it. She had been practicing.
Well, when we had
She
our
did really
interviews
well.
when we had the interview in the jury house, I thought it was an interesting moment because you had Leah and Angela and a few others talk about how Chelsea's biggest mistake in the game is that she had poor jury management because everybody left feeling bitter against her in the jury. But what was interesting in that is that when Angela defended her thoughts about Chelsea and Taylor asked her, you know, is that just another way to say that you're bitter? And you can be bitter and you can be petty. But do you want to do that, or do you want to vote for the best person for the win?
Oh, the best game.
For the best game.
Well, and
And
I don't know that they should be saying that.
I think it's
No,
okay.
because you're
I
No,
honestly,
it seemed like Taylor was lobbying for an outcome.
like a little
Well,
bit of that she was
Dr.
leading the
Will
witness
did-
kind of situation. Yeah.
Dr. Will did the same thing. And from what I've heard, those Dr. Will roundtables aren't like a 20-minute blip. They're hours long.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
sure.
really?
Yeah. It
He's
is
got some
very much
opinions.
like a jury sitting down and determining a verdict. So
Mm.
they go back and forth. They say, okay, what did this person do versus this person? If this was different, how would you see this?
But
But the thing I was waiting for is that Angela and Leah both said, you know what, that may be the case, but all I want is to know that Chelsea owns it. If she pretends like she wasn't lying. But Chelsea did something great was when Mackenzie said her best move was the move with Leah, and then Chelsea walked in right behind and said, yeah, that was my move.
Yeah.
And
Yeah. Seriously.
She didn't say,
Sorry.
I lied and cheated. But she did
Right.
say, I knew when to say what I needed to say, which was enough for them. At least there was some.
It is true.
no,
As
there's,
viewers, we saw it.
Yep.
So
there's no doubt. I mean, logically, if you look at the progression of the game, Chelsea should have lost because she should have put MJ up in the double.
Yeah.
Okay, MJ survived. MJ won the final HOH. If she had half a brain, she sends Chelsea home and she's the winner tonight.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
Chelsea really got lucky
Mhm.
because
Chelsea
she was
said,
dealing
though-
with. No, I don't believe that she convinced
You-
her. I just think she was convincible. She was not smart as far
So,
as
I think
she was.
Chelsea-
And let me preface this by saying I think MJ is an intelligent human being. I mean,
Right.
she aced all the contests. She
Mm.
figured stuff out. I think she's very impressionable by like the last person to talk to her.
I think that she's young. I think she's naive in the idea of someone being able to. I kind of feel like maybe MJ sees if somebody is being dishonest with me, they're probably not being very likable. You know what I mean? Like
Yeah.
with somebody like Angela, if Angela was lying to Mackenzie, Mackenzie's gonna go, "Oh, well, that tracks." But Chelsea
Mhm.
always treated her really delicately and like an equal and very kind and never was
Mhm.
short-tempered with her or cut her off. And so I don't think she had I think she still had a little bit of naivety where she was like, "Oh, well, she wouldn't be lying to me. Look at her. Look how we are. We're great." That's why I said I was laughing when the two of them were just like pumping each other up about like how happy they were for each other. And I'm like, one of you is a little
But
happier than the other one, though.
but when you look
Well,
at
sure.
MJ's diary room stuff, it wasn't Chelsea talk me into it. It was her like, I want to be up there with the best. She deserves it. I want the
Yes.
two best players to be up there. I want two women to
However,
be up there. Whatever excuse she had.
yeah. And however, every time it was Chelsea that was like, got a little tiny whiff of, her and Robina were talking about how, oh, it'd be so great if there was like a girls' alliance at the end, just a little bit of interest. And Chelsea went, haha, and then started pounding that into Mackenzie's head. So
Mhm.
Chelsea's
No,
very
no,
observant. She was
there's
reading
no
what
doubt she
the
did
feed
that.
went.
But the reality is she should have knocked her out at the double.
Oh, I agree that she did get lucky. She got lucky that
Because
I
because if MJ would have done the logical thing tonight, Chelsea loses. And there was no way she could be certain
right.
at that
That's
double
true.
eviction that she could
Yep.
convince her to keep her.
Yeah. Yeah.
I just
That was
thought
great.
during all the three HOH, the triple HOH whatever challenge, I just was really impressed at how good sports they were with everybody,
Very
each
much.
other. Because in previous seasons, even when people get along, they start to get like in that zone, and you see them like pacing around, like trying to get in their head, and you can see the competitiveness come out. Do you know what I mean?
I I think it
In like a
helps.
way that
I think it helps if one of them is already like, "Hey, I ain't winning."
yeah. But you know what I mean? But they were like high-fiving and like
Yeah,
kind of
for sure.
encouraging each
Well,
other
and
and
Mackenzie's in sports, like
yeah.
she's an athlete. She's in a lot of sports. I'm assuming Chelsea probably was in some. Uh,
She
they're
says she
gonna
wasn't though, but
be, they know how to handle themselves in those competitions. And I do love how many times they guessed on the pick the false statement and
yes.
how many
And they
times
were
they matched.
just head to head on that the
That
whole
was pretty
Well,
way.
yeah,
great.
I think they both guessed twice, and they matched up every time.
Every time they
Every
guessed,
time.
they matched except for the very
And
last
with the
one.
seventh one, right? Seventh round.
Yep,
And the funny part is, Chelsea had her hand on that letter and
she
switched.
did. She second guessed herself. Yep,
Hmm.
second guessed her
I
guess.
don't know. There's so much stuff to remember if you make it to day 80. There's so many things.
I would have
It's
bombed
so
at that.
hard.
How were you guys at that?
Oh,
Did you
I
guys
don't
answer
Oh, I
first?
couldn't do that. No.
I
I
mean,
did terrible.
I know
I
that
don't even
we've
know what I
heard
had for
from
breakfast this morning.
we know we've seen, that the players start to quiz each other over the days that different things happened, this happened and this happened and this happened or whatever. And I just think like, A, you could be quizzing each other, but how do you know the person who's quizzing you that they have it right? What if they're wrong too?
Oh
I
And
mean,
yeah.
some,
I just think it'd be so hard.
Yep.
and some of them are hard. It's like, oh no, these people didn't have a separation; they had the same.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
like they're
Or
like trick questions on top of it.
Yeah.
like so and so, was I think it might have been like the Angela one was the veto was used, this many times and it was just like one number off.
Yeah, one number off. Yeah, that's all
Now,
they
did they
need.
say
So it
MJ
sounds
won 11 competitions?
yeah. Yeah.
That's got to be a record.
11. It is.
Well,
She broke
it was
Jag's
Jag's
record
Yeah.
record,
from
yep.
last year. 10
So a
from
girl
10.
of
But you know what's
Hip-hop.
interesting is Julie played up the HOH record that
Yep.
Chelsea set, but never ever mentioned Angela's till tonight, or MJ's till tonight.
Listen, here's the thing.
Because she didn't break the record until tonight.
It's not just
But
the
she
record,
tied it, presumably with her last win.
but it's
She
not
would
just
have
the
tied
record.
it in the
And
game
that's
that
all.
we
And
did.
that's all Chelsea did was
But-
tie it. She never.
But she
broke
would
it.
have but once she even tying it and breaking both happened in tonight's show.
Yes.
No, did they?
No, she tied it. I think
Yeah.
she tied it last
tied
week.
it last time
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
when she won the veto.
Yeah, because she said that she had tied it.
And
She
so
tied it-
she
she
tied
tied it
that, and
beating
MJ
Cam.
and huh?
She tied when she beat Cam.
No, this is one competition tonight, not two. They
Oh,
don't
they don't
regard it
count them
as
as
two.
separate.
Yeah.
Oh,
right. Right. Yeah.
Okay, sorry.
Okay,
Got it.
but here's the thing, guys. It's Julie. It's Julie. So there's a difference that's happened between Chelsea and between Mackenzie. Mackenzie compliments Julie every time she sees her, quite literally every time she sees her. But you know what? Julie's been doing this for years. The compliments aren't enough anymore. Chelsea made her family.
Yeah.
Yeah, she did. Yeah, Chelsea's got very good
So
social
she's gonna get
skills.
all the call outs. She's gonna get all the
Social
yep, go,
skills.
Well,
go
there's no
Chelsea, you're winning.
There's no question, but I never realized that Dr. Will did that for that long. And it seems to me that is a very good way for production to control the outcome.
Yeah. I mean, there's
Because
a
you
lot
can
of
talk
ways.
a bitter person into not being bitter
Well,
over that 2-hour period if that's your goal.
Okay.
yeah.
Of course, yes. But they're
And of
doing
course,
it.
what Taylor said to Angela was, "Don't vote for her. You're wrong." She didn't
Yeah,
say that.
but
Or
Dr.
Of course, you can be bitter, but how pathetic would
maybe
you
think
be?
about
That
this.
was kind of her attitude.
Correct, but Dr. Will would always be like, "That's stupid." He would just go, "Why would you think that? That's stupid."
Right. I just
So
think
when
anything
they-
that gives production more control is probably bad.
When do they have the
See
round
Survivor
table?
any season in the last 5.
Well, that's the thing with the confessionals. I mean, when they go into the diary room, it's the same thing. They can't tell them what to think. They can't tell them what to do, but they can manipulate them very easily in that situation. So when you have somebody who's done this game and they no longer are by contract bound to stay quiet, like Dick Donato, and he talks about they're not going to they don't cheat. They don't tell you what to do, but they will word things in a certain way that tries to
Yeah.
convince you to not do the thing that they think you're going to do. And he said that's why some of the best players will have a plan and then they will not give that plan to production. And that is something we did see Cam do last year, where he had some ideas of what he wanted to do, but didn't say anything to production. There's a few players that catch on to that because they want to keep control of their moves entirely. So there is definitely conversations that can kind of get into people's head and sort of sway which direction they go. Long before jury.
So Rubina was voted out Thursday Night Live, right?
Yes.
Yes.
They do the round table that same night, or is it the next night?
I'm not sure. I feel like Rubina probably
It could have been
had
going
a
on.
24
Yeah, I guess
hour
Rubina was part of it, so it had to be after that.
I'm sure she gets a
So
little calm down time.
Friday night, maybe, because everybody's all fixed up all nice and Taylor got there, right? So that was that night. So let's
Could
say
you
it was
imagine just putting in your best dress, having your hair and makeup done,
and then Taylor
feeling
goes
like
out.
the cat's meow, and then that woman walks in the door, and you're like, "Oh, damn, I almost had it."
Wah. Yeah, a little like that. But could it be that so it's Friday night. They don't really know all the ins and outs. Things the game is coming to a head for the people in the jury house.
Yeah, I
They're
don't think
getting
they
they're
know
getting
what's
the
going
information
on.
drips and drabs as the people are coming in. So they talk on Friday night, and yeah, they could be still very bitter. But now they still have 2 more days
Yep.
to talk, discuss, mill it out. Now you know who the 3 is going to be. You're starting to figure out who's going to. Everyone's speculating who's going to be going home first, who's going to get that HO out of those 3, who's going to do what. And I wonder if you start to really think about the game as a whole, and maybe that round table is still a little too. You're still a little too into it.
It's kind of an
Maybe.
interesting thing because it depends on the personality still left in the house. When you have a season that had, when you have a season that had somebody like Paul, everybody who left, they thought they were in good standing with Paul. Friendship, like he was everybody's guy.
Friendship,
And then
team
when they got
friendship.
into the jury house and they started swapping stories, it was like
They found out everybody was friendship.
that
What?
SOB he got,
Yeah.
the
It got me
comment that
good.
he made, like the exit comment makes sense. There was bitterness. That was a bitter jury. Josh won because of a bitter jury.
Yes.
I mean, he's made a career out of it. So sometimes we forget that win wasn't because they thought he was the best. It was to piss off Paul. Franzel's been down that road too.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, she has.
Bitter juries do happen, but that's why tonight I was a little bit like, "Ooh, there's a lot of bitter jury talk going on."
There
Surprise!
was,
I didn't think
but
people were leaving with such a bad
I
taste on
didn't I
Chelsea.
did not expect it to be unanimous. I didn't
I didn't either.
after seeing that. So good for them for sitting down, pulling their big girl
Yeah.
pants up and going, "Okay, let's be serious about this and let's
Do
decide."
you do you think that,
Yeah.
like, when they all start, if you get a little bit away a little distance from being in the game, and then you're just
Mhm.
talking about the game, especially if you're a fan, do you kind of, like, stop thinking about the game from the point of view you were in and go back to being a fan?
No, I think
I
once you've been in, I think it changes you forever.
But I mean,
Well, yes, there's
when
no
you're
way you
having
can,
your
but
conversation about who you want to see win, does that
mhm.
fan start coming in and
I
kinda telling you a
I would
little
think so,
bit.
especially if you still like some of the people in there. Now remember when they before going in and
You're
finding
talking
out
about
Rabina had been voted out. We're
in the
talking about the round
season you're
table.
in, Jamie, or in the
Yeah,
seasons
because
Yeah.
you look
after
at
that?
no, like the season you're in, because you look at like Angela, and it seemed from what we did get to see that Angela was like me about
But
Chelsea, but then she was like at the end, she's like, you could see her say it to her at the end when Chelsea hugged her, and she said, "You deserved it. You played the best game."
All right,
You know?
Christy, you have the floor. I jumped on you twice, so I interrupted you
oh,
twice tonight. So
oh gosh, don't do that to me because maybe I forgot what I was going to say. I'm of that genre now. Um, No, I just thought that yes, they looked pretty bitter in the jury, and then you wonder, like, well, I think they can have some distance because you can, especially someone like Quinn, who was first jury member, right? He's
Yeah,
had
yeah.
more time to kind of figure it out. And remember, when they first go in that spot to do the jury talk with Taylor tonight, they did not know it was going to be Rubina. And remember, before we knew it was going to be Rubina, before we knew anything that was going in there after chemo left, what did we say? Oh my God, what if Cam has just been holding out? He's going to turn
Right,
it
right.
on now. He's going to turn it on now. So maybe they didn't, they're still seeing all those people kind of floating as possibilities.
Yeah,
But then
like the
as it
game
starts
is
to,
there's a little speculation now,
when
and
it starts to narrow down, you go like, oh yeah, that person deserves it clearly because, becomes more clear, I think. Anyway,
you get somebody
yeah.
like Quinn, and you kind of know, like, it's not even a question. You know that that kid is gonna vote the way a fan wants the game to go. He's the
yes,
fan.
yeah, no, I think that's
Mhm,
true.
So I kinda
mhm.
thought maybe that's what happened with Angela more than her truly believing Chelsea, like, in her heart,
Ooh,
feeling
no, I
happy
Mhm.
think
about it. I think her brain was like, "Obviously, she played the best game. You have to
no,
vote
I
for
think
her."
Yes.
Taylor correcting her changed her vote.
Eh. I don't know.
I
Maybe
just do.
Angela. She
I
didn't
just
even give Matt a hug when he was like, she
Well,
literally
that's
tried
what
to
I'm
put it
saying.
on the
She's
live feed when
perfectly
she was like, "No,
capable of
I did it."
all
But
manner of bitterness, and you're telling me that suddenly she got religion and said, "Oh, I should care about the
I think
she
purity of the game."
listen,
it is if Leah
you got
changed
that
her mind
wrong,
for her.
David. She is capable of all manner of drama. It
There you go.
doesn't matter what it is,
That's where
whatever's
it
going to be the
is.
most dramatic in that moment, that's the emotion
So
she's
true.
going to
She
have.
wasn't
And
so dramatic on The Price is Right.
also, David, she is the person who is like, "Please, please let me be a part of your group." If she was the only holdout against Chelsea, she was probably like, "Oh, I wanna be a part of the group, though." You
Very
know?
true. Also true. Yeah.
So, I mean, it's
So we
like
got to
12
see
Angry Men and Angela. Like,
we got to see some of the pre-boots like Tucker, and they gave him quite a bit of time. Him and Rabina. What did you guys think of that? That seems to be a real
they're
thing.
both so, just goofy, obnoxious, over the top personalities that always kinda seem to be on.
Like
Give it yeah, go for it, kids. Just
Well, and we know for a fact that they got busy in the jury house because the
yeah, we
tape
know
leaked,
we know
or
what they will
in the
do
Big Brother house
in the
because the
Big
tape
Brother
leaked.
house, yep, yeah.
Well, I'm just saying
right.
there's a difference when you've sealed the deal than when you haven't.
Right, when they kissed, I'm fairly certain when they kissed on stage, she said something like, "Oh, they've already seen us kiss," or something like that. Didn't she make some comment? Like, kind of,
Yeah,
you could
Probably.
hear it under the thing. Gosh, I
yeah.
wish we could get the transcripts on those. But
You know
anyway,
what's funny? None of them really reacted very much to Biden dropping out.
No,
Mm-mm.
except for Tucker.
They didn't
Because
bring
he's the
up
one said, "But wait, there's more."
they didn't say that Trump had 2 assassination attempts
I think
either.
that's what he was referring to.
Right.
Oh, the wait, there's more. Yeah, I'm
Yeah.
surprised they didn't bring that up too. But they also asked Joseph how he was doing because he's from Tampa and the hurricane and stuff. Joseph
Yes.
was very quiet.
Just somebody
Oh, my
shave
heart.
that freaking mustache off that man.
My
No,
heart hurts
leave
for
his shave Quinn's.
Shave both of
Quinn's is
them.
like,
Quinns is
just jeez Louise.
Yeah,
There's
okay,
nothing
here's the
worse than
thing.
someone who can't grow one.
Joseph's mustache is ironic. Quinn's is a little creepy.
Yes. Right. Joseph's is like, I'm a man and I can grow a mustache.
Look at how
so
silly
therefore
this
I'm going to. Quinn
Yeah.
is like, look at me. I have a little mustache. It is very I don't know. It's
It's a
just
little
I
it's
don't
a
mean
little
that doesn't mean that it's creepy. It just means there's some I don't know. A little
Yeah,
odd.
but okay, Joseph and his family and everything that has happened with the hurricane and his community and
Yeah.
as somebody who has lived in
That
a
he wasn't gonna come.
yeah, and as somebody's
Well,
lived
they
in
couldn't get him
a city
out.
with an
There was
Yeah.
an article on it. They couldn't get him
it
Oh,
out.
was it?
wasn't it was hard for him to have the transportation to do
He
it.
had to go like to Atlanta or Fort Lauderdale or
They
somewhere.
probably
to
had to
get
drive
out.
him out to get him onto a yeah.
But
Wow.
when we had the tornado here that took out like miles and miles of city, but we didn't have like the flooding and the way that the landscape of Florida is um and it was difficult just being able to do the simple things you used to do that would be on the other side of town. I am
Mhm.
imagining in the state that Tampa's in right now, doing any sort of travel was probably next to
I'm
monumental.
pretty sure they reopened the airport like Saturday.
Yeah, well, I know
Did they?
Orlando was open, but I don't know when.
Yeah, because Tampa was spared the worst. It was south of them where the
Mhm.
flood came
And
in.
but
Mhm.
I think that's he's more on that part of.
It was like Bradenton and Venice, if you know the
Oh.
area.
Yes,
It
yeah.
was not
That's what
Tampa, St. Pete.
Right.
Had it been 20 miles further to the north, it would have gone straight up Tampa Bay, and it would have been cataclysmic.
Oh, it would have been it would have been like type
I can't even tell you how bad it would have been.
tsunami waves.
It would have been trillions of dollars in damage.
Oh
and-
yeah.
Yeah.
Because there'd been nowhere for that water to go except
Right, because it would have gone
just-
up in the bay and it would have just been there.
It'd just
And there would have been, but to all of those, to all of those people,
Sorry.
all the people that are going through that. I mean, I don't know that any of you are listening, but if you guys have family or anything like that that's involved with that, recovery does happen. It takes a long time. Takes a long time, but recovery happens.
Listen, look at Notre Dame. They're rebuilding that. It's like we can do amazing things, people.
You got it.
We just
And
have
they're
to,
French.
We just have to
Australia?
we can do amazing things, but you guys, we just have to love each other, and then we can do these things together. So
Well, with that, we're going to pause now for our 7-second commercial break. And we're back.
all right.
right.
And I was going to congratulate Jamie today that she made a couple predictions last week. I don't know if it was Thursday night or if it was the week before, but you said we would see Janky, that he would get resurrected at the end of the show. And you also did say that we were going to hear that song again. I wanted to, and you were like, oh no, they're going to do it. You were like, I don't know who you're talking to over there in production, Jamie, but come on, throw us
Here's
a
the
bone.
thing.
What's up?
CBS is nothing not predictable.
Well,
Except this year they actually continued
I'm
the
proud of
theme.
them.
yeah,
I'm so proud of them. They continued it literally to the last second. So
yeah. Jinky's
for
back,
them.
guys. Your friend till the end.
Oh my land.
Well, they almost had to bring him back after the brutal death.
Again.
And then Ainsley had a brutal death. So
Again, my 5th grader was so happy to.
was she?
She was all like,
Aw.
"Yay!" She loved him, and I'm like,
Janky.
"No, God, no."
Whoever in the writers' room for Big Brother whoever came up with Janky, they need a raise.
There you
Just
go.
saying. Good job.
Well
job.
done.
And I love that concept of putting them all outside and making their life miserable for a whole week. I thought that was
just
great.
torturing them just with like the repetitive boredom. Like, yeah,
Especially when you have a done cast,
you're not
amping
really
up
hurting
that
them.
stress level.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just,
And one of them is always on the verge anyway.
I mean, just when it showed the cracks in the whole Cam and Chelsea thing when she had to get her caught and drag it away. And like, remember, and that she's not one that plays that way.
Yeah. Yeah.
So
They were all
even, and it even got to her, the stress. So good job. Good
They
job,
were
Big
getting
Brother.
done with it, right? Like they were over it.
So I do have a question to ask. Cam was the third place winner. He was evicted. And I just wonder, does that mean that I win for Chelsea winning?
I was thinking about that. I guess you do, but it would seem to me
It's like a
that I never had an
technicality kind of situation.
opportunity to pick a second person.
You don't,
It's not like
and
it's not a
there's no one to
winner
pick.
pick. It's not a winner pick win, but it's a soft nod of congratulations.
Yeah, I give you a little nod of respect.
I mean,
Because I thought about last
Well-
week saying that if Cam went home, my backup pick was Chelsea. Just to
And
so we
I
because
was already there, so like
yeah, I mean it was so obvious at that point.
a few weeks back.
Not
I
when
don't
you
know.
did it. Not when you did it.
Jamie.
When you did it, you were
Jamie.
like seventh, right?
just really, yeah, I
When
was
did
like,
Quinn go home?
He was first jury, so
We went home at 9 then, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Was that 9?
Yeah.
Math, how does it work?
So seeing the Chelsea win there is a little more. I mean, for me last week to say and be like, yeah, we're right.
I think we were already impressed with her like second or third week. We were like, wait, this is not the person that we thought she was going to be from her bio and all that
Well, even
pre-show
her
stuff.
her first week was not great. She was on the outs right away.
It was the Angela show first week, remember?
It really was. But her and I'm already forgetting their names. It'll come to me. Her and what's his name? They were the first ones out, like they couldn't compete. And so that whole week she
Robina and Cedric were the microchips.
Cedric. It was her and Cedric.
Oh, it was her and I thought it was Robina. It was her and Cedric. Okay. God, he's such a cutie. Did you see him stand there with MJ?
Yep.
I voted for him. He was my favorite player.
He was like putting a buffer around her so Matt couldn't get near. That's what it kind of looked like. Anyway.
Stay back, Matt. Get away, crazy eyes.
I got this, Matt. She got money now.
Well, I think that a lot of the a few of the cast members were basically exactly what I thought I was gonna see. You know, there weren't wasn't a whole lot of surprise there, but some of them really were a surprise, and I think that none of them was a bigger surprise to me than Angela.
They can't go.
That I just couldn't stand her, but also wanted to see her win for some reason, which was weird.
She's another one of those funguses. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's just kind of like.
Okay, we're not going to put her in the same
no, but
slot as King George.
No,
listen, if there's levels of hotness, she's on there, but she's not up to his level.
No,
you know
exactly.
I mean? No.
But
But
she's got something in that same kind of vein where it's like at first you're like the gall of this person, the shock of, oh, did they just say that or did they just do that? Oh my gosh.
Right.
And then you start going like, oh, and nobody's doing anything. Well, good on them, right? You're kind of impressed by them not playing carefully.
So, the difference is that at some point somebody like King George isn't just blindly bouncing off of things. He's manipulating them to protect himself. But somebody like Angela
he's ultimately a likable character.
Right.
And she is not likable at all.
But
okay,
Angela,
see, you say that. I think she might be a little bit.
She kind
Facebook hates her.
A little.
I don't know about Twitter, but Facebook hates her.
Facebook also hated.
So all the old women that sit around and watch
true.
Write about this show hate
and
her.
they loved Cam. Remember?
They loved Cam. Facebook's
Cameron.
We don't trust Facebook, David. It's not a reliable source.
I know.
Yeah.
I'm just saying they hated her and they loved Tucker.
Maybe they just
Well,
have to hate
Well, 'cause he's the
somebody
eye
every
candy, I
year.
get it.
One person.
I mean, Tucker's a lot cuter version of obnoxious than Angela, but again, different. He's the positive spin of
He's
obnoxious. She's a little more negative.
when when they were up on stage tonight, you could see how tall Tucker is, but he's like one of those slouchy guys. He
He's
kind of
always hunchy,
slouches, right? But like he's properly tall.
Yeah, he is. Well, he's a model. He's
Anyway,
no he's
um,
gotta be
one
tall and
thing
have the
we one thing we have completely forgotten to even touch on, it's totally gone over our heads, was that crazy 1980s inspired jumpsuit that Julie was wearing. It was really cool because it was like off the
yeah,
shoulders 80, like a flash dance situation, but then it was the shoulder was cut
I
out.
was
I would have
thinking
liked it better if the shoulder wasn't cut out on that side though,
you know
because
what
let it
I
bump on
saw
one.
when I
Asymmetrical.
saw it, I immediately started singing ABBA songs. Like, girl,
Very flowy.
yeah,
The
like,
the s
take a
the
chance.
sleeves almost were, like, too long, though it needed a little tailoring, I think, in the arms maybe for it, or maybe
Yeah,
that was the look, I don't
it
know.
was it
But,
was
it was a
different, but I didn't hate it. It just really
I
it
didn't hate
felt
it.
familiar, you know?
A nice bright teal,
Yeah,
like a Caribbean blue
yeah.
or
It
something
it
like
looked
that.
like you know what? It looked like a way to look really classy on a hot
Mm.
tropical day.
Yes, that's what it looked like. It looked like a resort wear.
Yeah. It was
Mhm. I
alright,
think
Julie,
so.
we approve.
She
It's
had her
not
hair
the best
down. David
outfit.
has no comments. He's like, once again, 2 weeks in a row or two live shows in a row, you have not noticed Julie's look. What is going
I
on?
haven't. I
What's going
wasn't. I'm. You know what? I'll do better next season. That's all I can
You're
say.
the resident man here. You have to give us your input.
Okay, here's the thing,
It
David
wasn't a side
doesn't notice.
ponytail. That's why
That's
he didn't
it! I
notice.
say David doesn't notice if there's not a side pony.
Yeah.
Oh, I know the
Yep.
side pony's so hot
Oh.
though.
See? Now you're there.
Now, if she did braids, I'd never forget
Yeah,
He
see?
gets wistful every
because
time
dudes
about
like
you.
that.
Oh, it's
He
so
does, he
hot.
gets, like, the little heart eyeballs, like,
Yeah. Yeah.
"It's a side pony."
Um, so yeah, all in all, are we happy with the way the season turned out?
Yeah, I got kind of I'm gonna lie, I'm not gonna lie, I got a little bit bored, a little bored, but not
I
like hateful
mean,
bored, just, I liked everybody. I didn't have anyone to root against or root
it
for.
kind of gets that way though, still toward the
Yeah,
end.
yeah.
Um, but
Kitty
yeah.
appearance.
I
Podcast,
had two.
podcast.
I had kind
Hey,
of two areas of disappointment. One is Cam was a major disappointment from the moment I picked him. I mean, just I
what's
kept
going
thinking,
on?
oh, he's going to turn it on. It's got to be better. This can't be all there is. But it turns out it can be. That's all there was.
Maybe maybe his family was like, this summer you're getting a job, Kim. And he's like, hell I
And
am. I'm
then
going on Big Brother.
and
I'm
then
just gonna hang out.
second, and
Howard
probably more importantly, is my favorite part of the game is always like the last three episodes. And
Yeah,
Jamie freaking ruined them for me because she
sorry,
convinced me about why I should hate that part of the game. And so
sorry.
I started watching
Rude.
it that way. And so I was like, I don't even want to watch tonight. I could just read
Well,
about it.
you know what that means? She
That you're
made so many
Mackenzie and I'm
good.
Chelsea.
No, I mean Jamie A has she made so many predictions correct this year.
It was the season of
Sure
She
she
prediction.
did.
and now she's convincing you to not like parts of the game that you liked. I think that means Jamie might be the winner this season.
Could be. It
I
could
am
be.
the Chelsea of this ship. I am the Chelsea now.
I think next season I may go spoiler free.
Yeah, oh,
You think
kind of
you'll try that?
bring back
You know what? I can't enjoy the show. I know exactly what's going to happen. The competitions aren't fun to watch.
sure, yeah, it loses a little bit of
I
its
do really.
I mean, I knew everything
I
except the final HOH going into this week.
that's true.
listen. I have done years where I have watched the live feeds and I have read the blog. I mean, this is season 26, so we've had lots of years to do
Yep.
that, right? And I've had friends that are like literally just watching it all day long while they're at work
Mhm.
and
Right.
filling me in. I've done seasons like that. But yeah, every once in a while, it's nice to just do. I'm not going to have any spoilers. I'm just going to watch it. But I love coming here and having you guys tell me the things I missed afterwards because I get my initial, this is what CBS wants me to think. Oh, I'm being lied to
Yeah, you
again. This
get
is what
yeah.
I need to do.
Oh, this
You
is
know what I
the
mean?
trickery,
So it's
yes.
kind of like the reveal is a little fresher.
Well, I
But I
will
honestly don't even know with my socials anymore. I don't
yeah,
know that I could avoid it if I wanted to.
I suppose it does depend, the
Yeah, your
spoilers are
algorithm
there.
is so screwed up.
But I'll say this, guys. If you guys aren't going to be doing, if you try to go spoiler free and any of that, I mean, whatever, however you want to watch the game,
Mhm,
whatever makes you
mhm.
the happiest version of a fan. But if there is a fight, I am texting you both, and you will be turning on to the live feeds at that moment.
But
Well,
was there any fights this year other than Angela and the charcuterie board?
No, the little beef with Tucker, with Tucker and Cedric, but other than that, not really, not really. I mean, like the fight was really just one side. It was mostly just Tucker.
it
Cedric really
feels
wanted
like
to fight him.
it feels like the people that were in the house this year, for the most part, all had kind of like good sense of humor. They weren't too thin-skinned, and they were kind of like good sense of humor about things.
Yeah, I
So,
really feel these guys. I mean, they only said it 18,000 times how much they all love each other. So
and no one really took themselves too seriously. Maybe Brooklyn.
there were a lot of prayer groups with these kids and a few adults. Um, that is one thing that happened a lot. And I think that maybe that kind of created a little bit of a different bond than we're used to seeing.
Yeah.
I don't think it's for the worse or for the better. I just think it was like a little bit of a different placement. And it's also part of where I think Mackenzie struggled at the beginning of her game because she wasn't really in on those at the get-go and then kind of
Yeah.
tried to join
You
in.
know,
It wasn't until the little prayer
that's
group started falling apart and people were going home that Mackenzie was able to get her placement in there.
and see, that's something that the production can never ever predict, right? They
Right.
can think, oh, on paper, this person's going to be our A and this person's going to be our B and
Yep.
literally our B. And so this person's going to be this, whatever. But they can get in there and you just never know
Yep.
until people are put together and start interacting. And then the weird things that people will connect on that they
Yeah.
might not even have predicted that they would connect on that level for that. Oh, we had green tennis shoes when we were in kindergarten or whatever.
Yep.
Like it's gonna be
Yep.
so random.
Yes.
And
It's
yeah,
true.
you just never know.
Some random
And they
thing
just
like they shared a pet's name or something.
yeah, I mean it, yeah. Really? You don't like pineapple on your pizza either? Um
Whatever it takes to create a
whatever.
bond, whether it's real or
You
not.
just can't that's always gonna be the
Yeah,
element that we can't predict on the show.
yeah,
And that's
and
I think what makes it fun.
People
these
put
games kind of
pineapple on pizza.
oh, it's delicious. I'll do it every time.
Yeah.
Animals.
You can put whatever you want on pizza. It's literally the
True.
definition of
It's
pizza.
at some point it's not pizza anymore. It's just bread with shit on it.
No,
I feel like
but pizza
I feel
crust,
like if
pizza
you
crust
had
is
shit
not
on
bread.
it, it's no
It's
longer
not bread.
good, pineapple or not.
Yeah. Pizza crust is its own
Yeah, yeah.
dough
But you know what?
form.
I
At
mean, that's maybe what you do in Missouri or Oklahoma, but in Chicago, you don't be putting pineapple on no pizza.
yeah, you can put
They'd run you out
pineapple
of
on it.
town.
You put some pineapple on it and some bacon and some
Same with New York
jalapeno.
and Boston. You couldn't do that in those places either.
Well, I don't know how they make pizza in Oklahoma either, but in Omaha,
Oh, okay, Nebraska then. What Nebraska, the hotbed of
same.
pizza culture in the United States of America.
I
Love
don't
it.
know. We kind of we had there was quite a bit of Italian. This was like a little viceroy
Little,
of Chicago at one point. So anyway,
you know,
we have a little Italy here in town. So
a little,
It's
a
awesome.
little Italy. It's a little Italy.
it's a little Italy.
I love that I said
Whatever.
Oklahoma though. That's even funnier.
I'm sorry. I
I know
challenge
you said
every.
Oklahoma, and I was like,
I
and as a
challenge.
Nebraska, raised person and a
Yeah,
Cornhusker by life,
you
I
Cornhusker.
can't be compared to Oklahoma. We don't allow that. So sorry.
I was watching Ted Lasso today, and there's lots of
Okay,
Oklahoma references.
but here's
He's
the
from
thing.
Kansas.
If you're like in Nebraska and you're getting compared to Oklahoma, it's sort of like being in Texas and comparing it to Oklahoma. It's like you can't do that. It's against the rules.
Okay. Nebraska's not as proud as Texas. I'm sorry.
When it comes to being told they're Oklahoma, they are.
No, but I'm saying Texans are some pretty proud people about being where they're from.
Yes.
Just like
They're
New
a little
Yorkers
uppity.
are.
Yes,
They're
but
kind
you
of
see,
uppity, right?
the point that I'm getting at is there is a specific disgrace of being
Well-
called an Oklahoman when you are
Well,
not.
fair,
And
fair.
you're
It's like
unable
it's like calling a New Yorker a New Jerseyan.
Yes, there you go.
Oh
They-
my
they get very
gosh.
upset.
We love you, Oklahoma. I have many lovely relatives and friends in Oklahoma, and I love you guys so much. But I don't live there. So that's all. That's all.
She doesn't even like the musical. She told me.
We have the wind rushing on our plains too. Thank you very much.
It blows right on up here.
It was a very windy day today, in fact. But anyway,
She doesn't even know the
Okay.
lyrics to Surrey with a fringe on top. Doesn't know.
I don't care.
Doesn't know, doesn't need it, doesn't care. She lives in
The
Nebraska.
fringe doesn't go on top. That's like, come on.
She's living in
Um,
little Italy.
Little Italy, Nebraska.
Little Italy,
You know,
Nebraska.
somehow, you know what they should do? They should make a freaking show about that and have Sylvester Stallone be the star. Oh, that's Oklahoma again.
That's Tulsa. That's not. But he could have came here. Well, I don't know.
Okay.
Maybe
Come
they
on, that
could've
was
come.
funny right there.
Again,
That's funny, yeah.
Oklahoma. All
Great
right.
show. Great show. Tulsa Kings.
Okay, my
Um,
friends.
So, looking
the-
forward into the future, what do we see in the future for Tally the Votes?
We have the Trader. You guys, it's gonna be I think it's gonna be a really busy winter new year for us
It
because
is.
Mhm.
we have Australia Survivor, we have Australia versus the World Survivor, and we have the third season of Traders, and they all are kind of slated to come out within the same 2 and 3 months, which is somewhere around the January to March block.
Traders will just be
Y'all.
what, 3 episodes, right? Because it's episodes, or is there 8? So it'd be 4. Because they do 2 a week, right?
Oh, do they do 2 a week? No. Do
I
they?
think they just drop one a week.
Do they?
I was thinking it was 1 a week.
Or
but
maybe they
I
drop
might be
2
wrong.
the first week.
Yeah, that might be. I don't remember. Their schedule's
Maybe.
wonkety woody, but yes.
Wonkety.
Now, do we
woo.
have any spoilers on who's going to be on Traders this year yet? Have they made
Nope,
any
they
spoilers?
haven't made any big
Ooh, but I'm sure there'll be somebody we know.
definitely.
And I hear a rumor we're going to have a new Tally the Votes theme song for the Traders when we do
All
the
right.
Traders. So.
I mean, something might be getting worked out, you know,
Happens.
behind the
hear.
scenes. So stick around. Maybe you'll get to hear a little something, you know.
A little
You know,
jingle, a
A
little
little janky, maybe a little. I don't know. We'll see.
And if you're on the if you're on our Facebook page, on Tally the Votes Facebook page, and you want to watch a U Survivor, slide into the DMs and we'll send you
Oh yeah,
a
That's
link
the
on how to
sweet.
do it.
Yeah. We'll
Send
give
you
you
a
that
bill.
the 411 on all of that.
We're like the Muppet. We're like the Muppet on Sesame Street, you know, that like opens up the coat and says, "You want to buy a vowel?" Like you want to
The man with the
Australia.
man with the plan in the tan van. That guy.
Got a
Yeah.
Z. You want to buy a Z? Just come over to us. We'll have all the
You know, that's kind of creepy when you think about it.
100%.
The Sesame Street was making
He's
fun of
not a
that.
recruit.
Yes, it was making fun of flashers.
Yeah,
Yeah.
maybe don't make jokes
Definitely
about that.
not a reoccurring character of the millennial and the Alpha
Yeah.
Gen Sesame
Yeah.
Street.
Didn't age well there, Sesame Street. Oops.
Yeah. He left with the Gen Xers.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine a kid
Well-
watches that show, sees that, and thinks like, "Oh, they're just a care." Then they on the street see the person there is selling the stolen watches or whatever. It's like, hey,
I know you.
I hope that never happened. That'd be sad.
And that's,
so
by the
sad.
way, the reason I couldn't abide Angela. That is not a representative of Gen X
No.
in any way, shape, or form.
Listen, we
She's a
are
freaking
very
millennial. She was just born too early.
We are a
her
multifaceted
time.
generation. Do not put us in a box. We will do whatever we want.
If you
And
try to put
that's
us
what
in a
Angela's
box,
doing.
we're going to throw it behind the bleachers and smoke at it. No.
Well, you won't put us in the box. You'll just give us a key and say, "There's your box. Go let yourself in there.
Go let
Wait for about
yourself
5
in."
hours. I'll be
But
home."
we'll have a
available."
freaking key because that's all we had.
That's right.
was the
And
key to
then
the
go
house.
get in the box. Maybe we'll make sure you have some food later on. Don't forget to do your homework. Bye. See you tomorrow.
That's it. That's it. That's
Anyway.
our sad tale of Generation X survival coming out on Big Brother season 26. Heading into
Oh,
the
that's
new
it.
year. Heading into the
Wrapped
new
up.
year. So you can listen to us if you don't want to look at us. Who does really? It's the middle of the night and we're not up to it. But if you want to listen to us, you can find us on iTunes, Spotify, iHeartRadio, Amazon Music, and all the other places where podcasts are found. If you like and subscribe, then you will be alerted whenever we have a new show to talk about. Maybe you want to talk about it. You can join us in the chats, and you could go to our Facebook page, Tally the Votes, and share
We
stuff.
will put any updates on premieres and things like that when we'll be back there. So
Yeah, because it's a
all right,
coming. The
guys.
shows, they are a coming. All right, so looks like it'll be going into the new year.
Until
2025.
AU Survivor, love one another.
You stop it.
I will not.
AU Survivor. Oh,